Hi friends, happy Tuesday, happy reading Tuesday. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope your reading weekend went well if you guys had a reading weekend. I did have a reading weekend and I finished some of the books that I actually wanted to get finished with over the weekend. So I hope y'all's went well too. So it is that time of the month. It is the 27th of August, so pretty much time for the August wrap up. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna wrap it up for the month of August and we're gonna start reading for the month of September. Y'all, the year is flying by. The year is so flying by. This is ridiculous. It is fixing to be September in like a few days. Wow, so crazy. But did I finish all the books that I wanted to read in the month of August? No, I did not, but it's okay. I did finish a lot of books in the month of August, and the books that I finished, I think they were actually on my August TBR, so hopefully they are, because you know I will mood read in a heartbeat. So for those that are just getting new to my channel, I just want to introduce myself, and for those who are my OGs, y'all just bear with me. So hey to my new followers, hey to my new subscribers, hey to my new viewers. My name is Yolanda. I am Yolandas Books, and over here we like to talk about books, everything, and lifestyle. And my lifestyle is a little bit different than most lifestyle videos. At least I feel like it is, because I feel like mine is unique. I feel like everybody's is unique in their own way because it's their own vlog. So my lifestyle part of my vlogs are when I go to bookish events, and I actually have started being invited to bookish events, going to bookish events, and it is very exciting, and I try my best to make it to all the ones that I can when I'm not working. So very exciting. I hope to pick it up so much more in the month or the year of 2025. So we'll see how that goes. So I love to read books, but my favorite genres are, I love thriller and mysteries like Cheryl Lapina, Frida McFadden. I actually read a B.A. Paris book, and it was actually pretty darn good. Tiffany Jackson. What other thriller people that I actually like to read? I've read an S.A. Crosby book, and his was a thriller. Like very good books. I like to read thriller and mysteries, but my favorite genre is like contemporary romance, enemies to lovers, young adult, you know, like light fluffy reads. I love to read books that will have me smiling because of like some of the things that they say to each other in the book. I love a ton of dialogue, and I just like a happy book. But when I read too many happy books, I want to help like solve a mystery, you know what I'm saying? So that's when my thriller mystery girl comes out of me. And I will not bash fantasy, because I do have some fantasy books. I just do not gravitate to them as much as I will gravitate to either a thriller or a contemporary romance, contemporary fiction, young adult fiction, those type of books. But I am a book reader, so I am open to reading any books that looks interesting to me. The synopsis of it looks interesting to me, the cover of it looks interesting to me. I will pick up that book and I will do my best to try and read that book. And every Wednesday and Sunday, Yolanda's Books, we are here as a family talking about books, or I'm taking you guys book shopping with me, or doing some bookish things with you guys. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, I would suggest you subscribe to my channel, because over here we are all about books, and we meet every Wednesday and Sunday to talk about books. There's a subscription button down there at the bottom. If you click on it, it will take you to wherever you need to be to become a family of Yolanda's books. So now that I got that out the way, today I am going to do my August wrap up. I'm going to tell you guys how I felt about all the books that I read in August, and I am going to do my best to do no spoilers in this video. So y'all, when we're talking about these books, sometimes like us book people, we can get so engaged in like talking about a book because we really enjoyed that book. Sometimes we might slip up sometimes, but most of the time we try not to slip up because we don't really want to spoil it for somebody else who has not actually read that book and who actually has it on their TBR. So I have my little TBR card here, and down here at the very bottom is my August TBR. These are the books that I read for August. So come on back up to me, y'all. So those are the books that I am going to review with you guys that I read in the month of August. So let's get straight into this video. Y'all ready? Let's talk about these books. Alright guys, so I am very excited about the books that I have actually read for the month of August. It is a very diverse amount or type of books, but I really did enjoy most of these books that I read in the month of August. So we're going to start out with The Proposal by Jasmine Guillory. It has not been a book that I have not read by this author that I did not like. She is pretty much like a romance author, and she just writes some really nice books. This one right here is just like a classic rom-com. It was really cute. It was really cute. It was just pretty much about an unexpected proposal in the public, and then like she was rescued from this unexpected proposal by this pediatrician, and with this pediatrician, he was pretty much like her rebound, but it was kind of like a no strings attached type relationship. So I did enjoy the dialogue in this book. It was a cute little rom-com. Alright, moving right along. The next one is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This one is just pretty much a true love LQBT romance novel. I've read Last Stop by this author. I did not like that book. This one was a little bit more bearable for me, so I did get through it along with the audio, but it was just pretty much about a guy named Alex, who was the first son of the United States, and his romantic relationship with Prince Henry, who was a British prince. This book was okay. It was just too predictable to me and too simple. The dialogue in it was good because I love a book that has a lot of dialogue in it, but it's like I always knew what was gonna come up next, or like it was just very simply written. I don't think I have any other books on my shelf by this author. I've heard of or seen another book, if I can remember, I'll pop it up somewhere, that they were talking about that she actually wrote. I don't know if I will actually get that book or not, because I read 2 books by this author and they just really did not do too much for me, so I will have to think about that one. So Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. We read The Bandit Bookshop of Maggie Banks by Shauna Robinson. I really enjoyed this book, and I think I enjoyed it more because it surrounded about books, and we are book people. But I thought it was a really cute book. Maggie Banks, she had a lot of spice about herself, and she really actually believed in what she believed in, and it was just pretty much about Maggie, she was a young woman. She was looking for a new chapter in her life, and she found a community that was built around books, and it was actually something that she actually loved. So the dialogue in this book was pretty good. I did enjoy it. It wasn't like a typical read, like, oh, I know what's gonna happen next, because she was like in a literary society, so it was pretty much very different for her. So she had to actually really like adapt herself to their way of living, and I think it was in a town called Bell River. So she really had to like adapt herself to their way of living, and she tried her best to adapt her way to that, but you know, that just wasn't her way of life, and she was looking for a new chapter in her life. So very cute book. I love the outcome of how she met the challenges that she found in, you know, in this town, for the people in this town and things of that nature. So really cutesy book. I dipped my hand into dark romance because of a workmate that I have in the ER at my job. This book, I don't know if I rated this book on Goodreads as of yet. I think I did, but I think I probably should have sat on it. I just finished this book yesterday, I think like last night, and this book was very out of my norm. I can't say that I did not enjoy this book, because I did enjoy the book because it was different than what I usually read, because I don't read dark romance. But this book, Corrupt by Penelope Douglas, it is a dark romance. It's an erratic thriller. It is actually a part of a series. The series is called The Devil's Night series by Penelope Douglas, and this book just pretty much surrounds around a girl named Erica. She's from a rich family. She was affiliated with a community called Thunder Bay, and like 3 years ago she was involved in an event that sent 3 of the Thunder Bay, you know, like most popular prize boys to jail. So the things that happen in this book, the dialogue in this book, the scenes in this book, they are very, very explicit. They are very hot. They are very spicy, and they are very descriptive. I'm gonna say that. So just be mindful when you pick up Corrupt by Penelope Douglas. You have to get your mind right. I went into it blind because I did not know anything about it, because like I said, I don't read dark romance. But as I was listening to the audio, I was like, no, that cannot be in that book. So I was like, I gotta pick up the book. So I picked up the book and I started reading along with the audio in this book, and everything was in this book. I was like, oh my God, this book is crazy. This book is crazy. Y'all, if y'all like erratic things, like impulsive things, if you like dark things, if you like bad things, y'all have to read Corrupt by Penelope Douglas, because you will get all the things that you're looking for in this book. I did download the next book to this series, and I think it's Highway something. I did download it on Audible because it was free, and this book did make me want to see what the second book was about, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to make sure I'm in a good headspace when I read that book, and I'm thinking that this time I might need to look at Goodreads and see what people actually thought about that book. But I did enjoy this book. It was a page turner. It did make me want to continue reading and listening to this book, but it is a dark romance. It is an erratic thriller, okay? So Yolanda's Books Notes. Alright, y'all, so this one is called To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. It is a Netflix book. Never seen the movie, but this is a young adult romance. It's just pretty much about a girl who wrote love letters to or about like 5 boys, and they were supposed to be letters just so that she can read. She put them in a box, but mysteriously those letters got mailed to every specific person. So really cute. I did enjoy it. It was very nice to read each chapter of when each person actually talked to her about the love letters that they received that she had wrote. She was knocking it out one by one. Very, very cute book. If you're in a reading slump, I would suggest that you read this book because it will keep you reading, but it just won't overdo it for you guys. Okay, so I read 2 books by Tomi Amiyedi. She's a Nigerian American author. I did read them out of order. I read the second book, listened to the second book before the first book, but it did not really kind of like mess me up. These are fantasy novels. I'm not that big on fantasies, but the audiobook actually really did it for me with this series. And I heard that this series is actually about to be a movie. I've seen her interview on Good Morning America, so I have not heard anything else about the movie. So I'm very interested in, you know, researching to see how the movie is going, who the characters is going to be for this book. But it is just pretty much about a young girl named Zaylee. She lived in a mystical world filled with magic and anarchy, with a lot of class discrimination, abuse of power, and violence. And she must like use her powers and her feelings for enemies to bring back like magic to her land. So like the magic was gone from her land, and the people who the monarchy who was trying to keep the magic gone out of her land wanted it to be gone, period. But she was trying to get the actual magic back into her land. So very, very cute book. Like I said, it's really not my genre, but I can say that I actually did enjoy Children of Blood and Bone. The second book, Children of Virtue and Vengeance, it is the second book to this series by Nigerian American author Tomi Amiyedi, and this one is just pretty much the follow-up of the first book. Again, it is a fantasy novel, and it's just about Zaylee and her village, or whatever you want to call it. They were fighting against the monarchy to get their magic back to their land, to gain their magic back that was wiped out during the first book. So like I said, I enjoyed the first book. I actually did enjoy this book as well, and the audio actually made it worth my whiles. So if I didn't have the audio, I don't know how long it would have taken me to get through this book, but I did really enjoy the book because of the audio. So if you are that fantasy person, you will really enjoy the Children of Blood and Bones and the Children of Vengeance and Anarchy. Next few books that I have is Anna Bonham Young book, Out on a Limb. This was just a beautiful, beautiful love story, y'all. It is pretty much a pregnancy trope, and the love story in this book was so beautiful. It's a romance novel, contemporary romance. It had oh my god, I can just say so much about this book. It is a typical book, but the love story that they actually had in this book, it was a love story of their own. And I just love the way the the two people, Win and Ben, like they had some kind of disability. Like Win, he had a prosthetic leg, and Ben and Win actually had something wrong with her hand. But Win was very, very adamant not to let anything like her disability affect how she functions as of life, and Ben did not either. They met each other like at a Halloween party. So this right here will actually be a perfect book to read for the upcoming fall season. But very, very cute love story. If you like that light, fluffy, the warm, sexy, and vulnerable type romance reads, you will actually love Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. And the cover is just actually stunning, y'all. Just actually stunning. So one night stand, got pregnant, and all the things. So very, very cutesy book. Heartstoppers Volume 3 by Alice Bozeman. Y'all know I love this series. I have been reading it kind of slow because I just don't want to get through it. So if you like graphic novels, I would suggest you start out with the Heartstoppers, because it is very easy to get through. The graphic in it is very easy to read, very easy to understand. And Volume 3 is just pretty much about of course, you know, it's a queer book about Nick and Charlie. They actually liked each other, and they were just struggling with putting it out there that they really like each other with their friends and all. It says Charlie didn't think Nick could ever like him, but now they're officially boyfriends. Nick has even found the courage to come out to his mom. So very cutesy book. If you're in a reading slump, I would suggest that you read the Heartstoppers. At least start reading the volume of the Heartstoppers, because it will keep you reading. But very cute book, y'all. I really do like the Heartstoppers by Alice Bozeman. We have a Colleen Hoover book here. It is All Perfects. This book was pretty different for me. I always love Colleen Hoover books. This is a love story. I always love Colleen Hoover books because even though you would think that her books will be very typical, her books are typical, but typical in such a good way, y'all. I started out reading Colleen Hoover books when I started back reading books, and it was not a mistake for me. Like, it was just awesome. The cover of this book has actually changed. This right here, I think I got this book from a library sale in my city. So like, this is a fairly old book, and but it was so cute. It's a romance novel. It was about two people whose marriages and relationships were in danger, and they actually found the comfort in themselves to help cope with the disappointments and the things that they found out about their actual partners together. And this book also has, like, how would I say it? I want to say like some I would say like a trigger type warning for people who might have trouble like conceiving and things of that nature. They don't have any trigger warnings in the front of this book or any author's note, but just by reading this book, I just noticed that there was something like that in this book, if I'm remembering correctly. But very cutesy book, very cutesy book. And you can, like, the dialogue in this book really says the name All Your Perfects, because it's like they were trying and doing their best to love each other regardless of their imperfections. So really cute book. I feel like this one also will help you if you're like in a reading slump, because it's a really light, fluffy, cutesy read. last but not least, y'all, I think this is the last one. The last one that I read is a book that I buddy read. So I'm not gonna say a whole lot about it because I am gonna do a live and we're gonna talk about this book together with the person that I actually buddy read with. But I read a Lisa Jules book, and this is a thriller. It's called Then She Was Gone. First time I think reading a Lisa Jules book, and her writing was kind of different for me. It's some books I can handle like going back and forth, and some books I cannot handle going back and forth. And this book, I don't know, it is not a page turner. I can tell you it wasn't a page turner for me. It did keep me reading it. I did not DNF it, but at times in this book it really like had me confused. But it was just pretty much about the disappearance of Ellie Mack. Was a young girl who actually disappeared, and I don't really remember a lot about it. And y'all, that is the thing, like I can read a book, and when it's time for me to actually talk about that book, like if it wasn't really interesting to me, like I can't remember a whole lot about the book. Any of y'all like that? But I do know that I did not DNF this book, but this book was just, I don't know, it had me all over the place. I can say that. It had me all over the place. It was like, no, I thought this happened. And then, you know, like in the next chapter, I'm reading like, no, that happened. And it just seemed like it jumped back and forth. And I just did not really care for that. And as I look back through the chapters on this book and stuff, like it's not, you know, like filled with a lot of dialogue. And that is also what really drives me when I actually read a book, is I like a lot of dialogue. I like a lot of conversation, because that just makes me want to know what's happening next, or what's going to be in the next chapter. Like, what are they going to do next? You know what I'm saying? Dialogue is a very big thing for me, because I feel like that really drives a book. And so when a book has like a bunch of chapters, like The Crazy House had a bunch of chapters. I think it had like 100 and some chapters. That was a good book to me, because it had a huge amount of dialogue in it, and it just kept you wanting to know like what's gonna happen next, or what is she gonna say next, or what are they gonna do next. And I just love a book with a lot of dialogue, y'all. And the buddy book that I did was When I Think of You by Maya Ariel. Very cute book, y'all. I loved this book. If you like, what would I say about this book without like giving it away of any kind? I like the dialogue in this book. I love the way Kyla, I love the way she just had so much oomph about herself. Like she was pretty much like the epiphany of, you can't tell me no, or, you know I can go further, you know, things of that nature. So pretty much this is just like a second chance at romance. She actually ran into Danny after 7 years, and like sparks start to fly between them after 7 years, y'all. Like, tell me that is not true love. 7 whole years, and when you see each other again, sparks start to fly. Come on. So, and I love that kind of stuff, because I feel like a lot of people, like, they let things go as, you know, young adults, and they wish they would have never let that person go. So this one was pretty much just like a second chance at romance. The dialogue in this book was hella good, and I just love the way he talked to her and the way he treated her in this book. And the reason why I guess I love that was because, you know, that's the way I like to be treated. That's the things that I like in a relationship. But like the things that he said to her and the encouragement and stuff that he gave her, it was just so beautiful, so dreamy, and I loved this book. I forgot her name, but thank you for being on my live and suggesting that we read this book together. I really did enjoy this book, and I can't wait to talk to you on live on your perspective of the book and also mine. So guys, that is all the books that I read in the month of August. It was a diverse amount of reading. Yeah, it was. And I can say I did enjoy the books that I read. But y'all, that is it. That is it. I actually have somewhere that I need to be, so I'm not trying to cut you guys short, but I have to get on the road to get to therapy. But guys, if you are not a subscriber to my channel and you like reviewing books with Yolanda's Books, I suggest that you subscribe to my channel by clicking that subscription button down below, and it will always make sure that it lets you know when Yolanda's Books is on YouTube or has posted a vlog on YouTube. So guys, thank you for joining me. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for staying with me through this vlog. And if you stayed to the end, down in the comments, please drop a book emoji, and I appreciate your support. Bye guys.